being 3 weeks away, has the reality kind of set in that this is going to happen within a matter of 3 weeks? Matthew first.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, fun times. Everything goes by super fast. Yeah, I feel like you get more and more closer, and it feels more real. But you gotta take it one step at a time, day by day, and just enjoy the process.
Yeah, just like Matthew said, I think taking it one step at a time has been something I've done. I think this year in general for me kind of flew by, but just trying to enjoy every moment.
For Michael, just wondering if you could clarify how much center you played this year as opposed to previous years in the O, and how that would have changed your game.
Yeah, coming to the OHL, I primarily did play winger my first 2 years. I think ultimately I want to make that jump back to center, and I think it would help my confidence level a lot. I just feel a lot more comfortable down the middle, got a lot more puck touches, just carrying the play on my stick more is, definitely something that helped me. So.
Hey Matthew, just Jim Waters,
Yeah.
obviously somebody that was probably smiling down on you today. Just how impactful was he, and what are you going to remember most about him?
Yeah, obviously I've been through a lot. Lost my billet mom, lost my mom, and lost Jim Water. All people that were really important in my life. Yeah, my first year I got drafted to Erie. They made it super special for me. Meeting Jim Waters and Sheila Waters, they welcomed me in right away, and my parents felt really good leaving me. 2.5 hours away from home. First time I lived away from home and played hockey away from home. So they made it a lot easier of a transition for me, and I miss Jim a lot, but I know he's looking down on me.
Matthew, how difficult was it to endure rehabbing and not being with the team, like not being on the ice for all that time? And how do you feel now, and how eager are you to get back on the ice?
Yeah, a hockey player always loves playing hockey, doesn't like, watching and not being able to do a lot of things. I've been through a lot in my life, and I'd rather an injury than losing someone I love. I mean, there's a lot worse things that can happen than injuries, and I'm pretty positive with my mindset, and I'm driven to want to come back. So yeah, obviously injuries are not fun, but I'm driven to get better and come back even stronger.
How are you, by the way?
I'm fully healed. I won't be doing bench press and pull-ups just because I haven't been doing that, but I'm fully healed.
Yeah, Michael. Hey, how do you feel your game can quickly translate to the NHL? Do you feel like, this is a league you could possibly play in next season? And would you see yourself at center and wing in the NHL?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, I feel like I am ready to make that jump next year. That's ultimately my goal, to make the NHL next year. I think gaining that center experience that I had this year definitely helped my game, and just trying to become that more reliable 200-foot player defensively as well. So overall, I am ready to make that next step. Yeah.
And just I was wondering if you could characterize your meetings with the Islanders this week and your general impressions of that organization specifically.
Yeah, I had a great interview with them on Monday, and then last night went out to dinner with them. So overall, I had a lot of fun meeting them, and great organization. They got a lot of great players on that team, great young core coming up. So nothing but good things to say about them.
Just for both of you guys, I'm sure you've been asked this question before, but for Matthew and Michael, who was the NHL player you most compare yourself to? I'm curious both your answers.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I love watching Kel McCarr, Heiskanen too, really smooth skating defenseman. I don't think there's a guy I really model my game after. I love watching Brandon Tanev on the PK block shots, kill penalties. I want to be that defenseman that can, play all over the ice. Whatever the coaches need. If it's PK, PP, I just want to be that guy that goes out there and works as hard as I can.
Yeah, for me, it's Kirill Kaprizov and Kucherov, those two guys. I do know they are both wingers, but I think what they do on the ice I can relate to in a lot of ways. The way they drive themselves offensively, their playmaking ability, just stuff when I watch them, I can hopefully see myself like in the future.
Question for Michael. You had your older brother drafted by the Flames last year, and a teammate, Zane Perret, drafted by the Flames last year. As you've kind of navigated this process leading into the draft, how have you kind of leaned on both of those guys in terms of advice, inspiration? any kind of help you may have needed?
Yeah, no, first I'd say just my brother. Yeah, it's huge for me to have, you know, someone so close to me in age, and went through this whole process last year. So yeah, he's been huge for me. You know, it's just like my best guy off the ice, and to lean on for advice. And you know, Zane's another one. Played with him for 3 years now, and you know, he's taught me a lot of stuff in my OHL career. And yeah, another great guy I can lean on. So it's been good.
Matthew, wondering what teams did you go out to dinner with, and what was your favorite thing about these dinners?
Yeah, I'm a talker. I love all these interviews and stuff. Keeps me busy. So I love meeting new people. Yeah, I went out to dinner with the Islanders on Monday, and I went out with San Jose on Wednesday. So two great organizations. Super easy. Got to know them over the week. So you know, pretty easy going out with them. It's a good conversation. You just gotta be yourself. So it was really good.
Did you just have 2 dinners?
Yeah, just 2 dinners.
Pretty jealous. Michael had 4 of them, so you got a lot more females.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
But Mac, I just want one more question. Just what was your impression of the Sharks organization meeting them?
Yeah, like I said, every team I met with and every organization has been top class. The NHL has no bad teams, and all the organizations are very high class. But yeah, the Sharks were amazing. I got to meet Mike Greer over the season, and I got to meet their full staff yesterday. So we had a great time chatting. So it was a great dinner.
Fireside first.
I'll sneak in a quick one for Matthew and ask you to talk about Michael's game. And then Michael, I just wanted to ask you as well, a lot of people come into the O with a lot of pressure, but it's a different level when you're an exceptional status player. Looking back on it, do you feel like that pressure was a lot to deal with?
Yeah, Misa's a great player. Got to watch him growing up. I mean, he played a year older, so I didn't get to play against him much there, and then I got to play against him in the O quite a bit. So yeah, he's a very smooth forward, can put the puck in the back of the net. Skating ability is really good. His hockey IQ is another one that's really off the chart. So great player on and off the ice.
Well, can you repeat that second part?
Just that, coming into the O with exceptional status, that's an added layer of attention, etc. Looking back on it, do you feel like there was a lot of pressure on you at that time?
Yeah, I mean, since I think just applied for it, that whole process, there's been expectations, pressure on me since I've entered the OHL, and it's something I've had to kind of just embrace and take in. But for me, it's more just focusing on the hockey and how I can get better as a player, and not so much worry about the outside noise.
Michael, can you talk just more about your move to center? I guess it was a plan, and it's clearly something you wanted to do. Why was it important to you that you have that versatility and take on a different position?
Yeah, growing up in minor hockey, I was always primarily a center, and like I said, my first 2 years we had a number of good centers on Saginaw with that were a lot older, so I had to make that jump to wing. But coming back to this year, it's what I plan to do for my draft year is go back to center, and like I said, ultimately I just feel a lot more confident down the middle. That's primarily where my roots are at. So yeah.
Do you just like the additional responsibility, I guess, too?
Yeah, I feel like I am involved in the play a lot more, not just offensively but defensively. Being reliable, and yeah, so it's been good for me.
Just a question for both of you. Teams can obviously watch you play and get a sense of your game, but they're here to get to know you guys as people. Is there something specifically that you hope that teams took away from who you are off the ice?
Yeah. For me, I think the biggest rule I kind of lead myself by is just treating others the way you want to be treated. Going into interviews and dinners, I treat others the way kind of I want to be treated in return, and that's something I hold myself by. So yeah.
Yeah, I think just being yourself. They get to see you on the ice. Just be the same person you are. You meet people over the years. They like you for who you are. So just be your person that you are, and yeah, it's fun things.
Matt.